One day, in the house in the middle of the forest, where Wise Owl and his friends lived, a strange thing happened. All the animals stood outside the house and looked up as little white raindrops fell from the sky and started to lay on the ground, creating a soft white blanket. "What is it?" said Hedgie the Hedgehog. "I don't know," said Gerald the Gnome. "We must find Wise Owl. He will know what it is." Then off the animals went in search of the Wise Owl. They looked everywhere, even under the tables and under the chairs in the big room. They went to the large kitchen and looked inside every cupboard and under every chair. But he was not there. They searched high and low, but the Wise Owl could not be found. At one point, all the animals met one another in the big room, and all said they couldn't find him and didn't know where he was. Where could the Wise Owl be? "We must look again. He must be somewhere," said Henry the Red Squirrel. "But where?" said Hedgie, continuing. "We've looked everywhere. Where possibly could he be?" "He must be somewhere inside," said Scorpio the Scorpion. All the animals agreed that he must be somewhere inside the house, and they would search again, taking even greater care to find him. They remembered that he was there last night, sleeping in the big room, but now that the morning had gone, he was missing. Hedgie was walking towards the kitchen when he heard a noise. It sounded familiar. What was that noise, thought Hedgie. He heard it again. He thought over it. It was a fluttering of sorts. And then he looked up to find the sound, and there was the Wise Owl flying above him. "Wise Owl! Wise Owl!" cried Hedgie. The Wise Owl flew down to meet Hedgie. The Wise Owl saw Hedgie's face and noticed that he looked sad and worried, so the Wise Owl was concerned and asked him why his face was so. Hedgie explained the situation, that all the animals were trying to find the Wise Owl, but they couldn't. "Oh, I am sorry," said the Wise Owl. "We thought you'd gone and left us." "I would never do that. What need do I have to go anywhere else, when everything I need is here?" "Yes, there is much here and comfort." "No, Hedgie. The reason I need go nowhere else is because my friends are all here. They are all I need." At that, Hedgie felt a little tear fall from his eye. What a lovely thing to say, that all the possessions they had, all the food and comfort, did not outweigh the love of friendship. What a Wise Owl was. Hedgie immediately hugged Wise Owl, ruffling his feathers somewhat. Oh, Hedgie, I'm really sorry I got you all worried. I must remember next time to tell you if I'm going somewhere. You see, I woke after such a long sleep, and I felt I needed to fly up high a little to stretch my wings." "That's okay, Wise Owl. You're here now. That's all that matters." Yes, indeed. Hedgie then remembered the reason that all the animals were looking for the Wise Owl, the soft white blanket. Wise Owl, screeched Hedgie in excitement. "Yes," Wise Owl spoke softly. "You've got to see, got to." "What?" "The soft white blanket from the sky." "The soft white blanket from the sky," repeated Wise Owl. "Yes, it came from the sky in little bits and has made a blanket for us to sleep outside. Come see." Wise Owl wondered what this could be, and so followed Hedgie as they converged at the front door with the rest of the animals, who were very happy and glad to see Wise Owl. "What is it?" said Gerald the Gnome. "Ah, that's snow," said Wise Owl. "Snow," said Henry the Red Squirrel. "Yes, when up in the sky the clouds get very cold, like we do sometimes at night, but even colder. Then the water inside them comes down. It's very cold and has gone hard, and when it comes down and gets a little warm from the snow, it turns into snowflakes. And if it's really cold down on the ground, it lays and makes snow." "Is it safe to touch?" said Hedgie. "Yes, perfectly, but wear some gloves, as sometimes it can be very cold and make your hands go red." "Let's go play," said Wise Owl. And all the animals ran out into the snow and started to jump and roll around in it. It was an amazing sight to see all these animals rolling about in the snow, making snowmen and throwing snow at each other. Such fun was had by Wise Owl and his friends. "How far does the snow go?" asked Hedgie. "As far as the eye can see," said Wise Owl. Hedgie asked whether they could go on a journey and walk through the snow and see how far it really went. The wise owl agreed. All the animals put on their warm clothes and put rucksacks on their backs with food and thermoses of hot milk and cookies, and set off on their journey northwards from the house where they lived. As Hedgie walked through the snow, he kept looking down to see the imprint of his footsteps. Every step he had taken was trailed all the way back to the house. Hedgie laughed and started to dance around to make beautiful patterns in the snow. All the animals looked around as much as they could as they walked further from the house, having not gone out this far in a long time. They looked at all the tall trees that stood in the forest, and as they got under a lot of big trees, they noticed the snow hadn't fallen on the ground. It was still covered with earth, but above, the trees had a canopy of snow. Inside the tall trees it was very dark, but most of the animals had no problem with that, as they could easily see in the dark, especially the wise owl, who was in front leading the group of friends northwards. But little did wise owl and friends know that as they were walking peacefully in the forest, some other animals were watching them. These were naughty animals. There was an elephant and a fox. They sniggered at each other, rubbing their hands together as they plotted what to do with wise owl and his friends. "What shall we do?" said the fox. "We shall collect all the snow we can, put it in my trunk, then like a cannon I shall spatter all the snow on them. Hee hee hee," laughed the elephant. "Oh yes," whined the fox, "what a genius plan you have. They shall be all wet and cold. Ha ha." "Well, don't just sit there, go and collect the snow," grizzled the elephant. The fox was up and on his feet and running outside the edge of the forest and started shoveling big piles of snow into a red sack. Meanwhile, the wise owl and his friends had walked very far and were getting a little tired and decided to stop and rest. The gnomes all collected some wood and started a little fire so that the animals could warm themselves up and relax. Hedgie gave all the animals a stick with a marshmallow on the end of it to heat on the fire. It was all very nice. The fox returned with a big sack of snow, which he placed inside the trunk of the elephant. This took some time, as it wasn't easy for the elephant, who wanted to sneeze, but he couldn't, otherwise the snow would fly out, and they wanted to put all the snow inside his long trunk to cover all the wise owl and his friends. How naughty they were being. The wise owl stood up and looked at his friends a little worryingly. "What is it, wise owl?" said Henry the red squirrel. "Which way is home?" "That's easy," said Hedgie. "We follow our footsteps back." All the animals looked at the ground to notice that there was no snow inside the trees and no path leading back to their home. They were lost.